Okay. So what we haven't done yet, which we really need to do, and so I'm doing it now. We're basically going to turn 1 week, what usually takes about 1 week in class, into 1 day. Okay, so we're actually going to fast forward it. We're going to fast forward this piece more so than we have in the past. If I can get into it. So we're basically going to say you're going to create a resume, all right, in basically in 1 class time. And so what's going to happen is this resume is going to be submitted to Google Classroom at the end of class. Whatever you have, it's going to be submitted. And then I'm going to give you a, so basically what's going to work out is if it's a Google Doc and it's finished after the class, you're going to submit it to Google Classroom by 11:15. Okay. I'm hoping I can get through this in the span of 45 minutes. If it's not on a Google Doc, okay, if it's not on a Google Doc and it's on a written piece of paper, you're still going to submit that to me by 11:15. Okay. So everything, so you should be able to submit some type of document by 11:15. And then I'll explain what's going to happen after that. In terms of when the next piece is going to be due, which is most likely going to be due by tomorrow night, 11:59. So I'll get into that in a little bit. So here's what's happening. If you have a resume already created, or I actually create CVs. It's a little different than a resume. Okay. CVs are a little bit more elaborate in terms of the things that you write, and they're a little bit more detail oriented, and they're in reverse order. Okay, so they're chronological order from now to the most previous what do I want to say, events or history of what you've done in the past. So it goes from the most recent to the least recent. So here's mine, just to give you an example. Now, what you're going to have, I have 3 pages of it. Okay. You're not going to have 3 pages of it. We're only going to try to get you to have about 1 page. And so if you have a resume or a CV already created, as I was saying before, then that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to edit or revise a little bit based on the format on what I'm giving you. Okay. Because some students have resumes and CVs of formats not very good. Some is really good. And so you want to add stuff in and you want to submit it by 11:15. That's fine. If you have it done and it's really good, then basically you can just kind of follow along today and then just submit by 11:15. It's not going to be a whole lot of work for you to do. Okay. So you're going to write your name big, bold on the top, just like mine is. And you're going to center it. So we're going to do it together. So I want you to write your name big, bold, and center it. And then you're going to write your address, not your address, not a full address. You're just going to write your city like this. Okay. So this is Kalani's CV from, we created this 2 years ago for him, I think. Maybe it was last year. He created it. You're just going to write Monrovia. Okay. So you just write the city where you're from. You can write, if you live in a different city, that's fine too. Or you can just put Monrovia. It doesn't really matter. Okay. You're going to write big and bold your name, Monrovia, California. Then you're going to write your phone number. You can write whatever phone number. It doesn't have to be, actually it needs to be your phone number. Okay. It needs to be your cell phone number. And then you're going to write your email address on the top and you're going to underline it. And so again, if I go too fast or you need me to slow down a little bit, just let me know. Okay. So your address, or just the city, your phone number, and your email address. They need to be able to know how to get in touch with you, right? When it comes down to contacting you for job placement. Okay. Now, education, right? My education, I have 2 degrees. I have a doctorate degree in chiropractic medicine and a Bachelor of Science degree in kinesiology, December 99. I have concentrations, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so for you, it's not going to be as elaborate, right? You're basically, education is going to be Monrovia High School, expected diploma, whatever year you're supposed to graduate. Okay, education, Monrovia High School, expected diploma in June, whatever year you're supposed to graduate. Okay, next. Professional licenses and credentials. You're not going to write that, right? Because you don't have any professional licenses. You shouldn't. You might have, I don't know, an Eagle Scout or whatever it might be. That might be something we could put down later on. But for this license or credentials, but for here, this is Kalani High School, right? Student professional experience. So we're just going to jump straight to, mine is, I have teaching experience. I have a bunch of it. And then I go down to professional experience. So you're skipping this, basically this whole, most of this whole first page, right? So you're going to go down to professional experience and you're going to write it in big and bold. Okay. So it should be, your name should pop really big. This is like 24 font. Education's 14. I want you to bold this too. Okay. You're going to bold it and then you're going to leave it unbolded. So if you're writing on a separate sheet of paper, just write in bold. Okay. Write in like parentheses, just put, bold. Okay. That way, when you go into the document and you create it, you know that you have to bold that. You're going to write everything. Either bold it, however you want to write it, bold it, make it thicker, or write bold, however you want to do it. Just so you know. Okay, so professional experience for Kalani. His was Monrovia High School, Monrovia Unified School District, Monrovia, California, sports medicine student intern, 2019 to present. Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky. And then let me just write this in. So his was provided injury prevention or treatment for student athletes before, during, and after a game, taped ankles, football players, as well as treat injuries that arose within the game, provide treatment for scrapes and scratches for basketball players. So he covered football, and he was a student trainer for football, and he was basically one of the 2 lead student trainers for basketball. So for you, you're not going to write that in, right? Because you don't have that professional experience. But what I do want you to think about is what experience could go in there for you, right? What experience could go in there for you? So let me give you some examples of what type of professional experience could go in there for you. Let's say that you volunteered somewhere, right? So that you volunteered doing, I don't know, American Red Cross, maybe you did blood drives. Maybe you were MASA, okay? Maybe you were, hold on one sec. Maybe you were MASA and that you, did, let me just double back and make sure I'm not going to duplicate that. So he put MASA down here. So let's just keep it. So let's not do MASA. Let's make it professional activity. So any professional experience might be something that you did outside of school, right? So maybe it was you volunteered for the American Red Cross. Maybe you were an intern somewhere. Maybe you volunteered somewhere for like 2 years or a year or 6 months. So this would be more of a volunteer experience. We're going to make it outside of school. Okay, so any volunteer experience outside of school. Maybe you did a summer internship somewhere, right? So you're going to put in whatever that volunteer experience was. Okay, so let's just say it was Red Cross. Okay, so Red Cross, and then you would put, maybe it was in Monrovia, maybe it was with American Red Cross, right? You said Red Cross volunteer. And then you did American Red Cross is an organization, and it was in Monrovia, let's say. And then you would put down, let's just say it was a blood donation volunteer. Okay. And then you did, it was 2019 to present. Say it was just for a summer. So you'd say summer 2019, summer 2019. Then you would give details. Okay. And that details would be, you know, whatever you did, right? So it could be, provided snacks for those who volunteered to give blood and helped observe the individual for 15 minutes to ensure they didn't experience any adverse side effects post blood donation. Okay, so you're gonna just explain what you did, right? Gives them an idea as to exactly what it is that you did there for the Red Cross. Okay. So professional activities. So that's that. So, and if there's nothing, then you can't, then you put nothing. All right. If there's nothing, you put nothing. It's going to be very, a much less, it's going to be more hollow, right, of a paper than mine. So that, but that's okay. Okay. So next, professional activities, right? So if you don't have any professional experience, you can't put anything down. You have to be really creative with it, okay? So that means like whatever you can think of that boosts your appearance on this paper document. Okay, so you can be creative. So once you think, and then you might have a multiple, which is good, right? So you're going to add, you're going to duplicate this format, and you're going to write the next individual. So it might be, I don't know, you volunteered at a health fair. Okay. American Cancer Society, you volunteered with the American Cancer Society with raising money for cancer patients, whatever it might be. And you're going to repeat the same format, and you're going to have now 2. Okay. So professional activities, here's where yours is going to come in more than anything else. So for him, this is where you'd put MASA, right? Monrovia High School, Math and Science Academy, 2016 to present. What you did, right? So he put travel to elementary schools in the district, teach basic math and science skills to the students, obtain 40 hours of volunteer work.
Dr. Mercado, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Wait, so you put MASA, so it doesn't really have to do with like sports medicine or something?
For who?
For anyone writing this down, because I was thinking that if you put personal experience, it would be something health related.
This is for anything, right? Okay. This is for anything. This is not just for health related job, right? This is for anything that you may want to apply for.
Oh, all right.
Right? So you're just basically, so you're right. Like there are, like, for example, I have a soccer resume. I have a health, I have a chiropractic health, like, when you get to be like older, you can have multiple CVs that are dialed into specific topics, right? For you, it's just everything. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So the next one for him was Monrovia High School Renaissance, 2017 to present. Okay. And what I want is, if you are a Math and Science Academy, I don't want you to copy what he put down. Okay. I want you to create your own. So what did you do? You may have done the same thing, right? And more. All right. So I'm giving you a template. I want it to be in your own words. Now, it might be very similar, right? You could probably put the same thing because that's what you did. For Renaissance, 2017 to present. So that would be something if you're doing Renaissance. He did Link Crew, right? So Monrovia High School Link Crew, 2018 to present, provided care and guidance to a group of incoming freshmen. This provided a smooth transition from middle school to high school throughout the year. Act as another mentor for a person when they are struggling to find someone to reach out to. So again, if you're in Link Crew, I want you to use your own words. What did you do, right? So for him, here's 3 professional activities that he's adding in for his particular document. Am I going too fast for anybody? I'm going to give you so let's say that it wasn't something that you haven't done any of this at Monrovia High School, right? We're looking for professional activities for anything, right? So let's just say, let me just make sure. Okay, so what we don't want is that you're an athlete and that you did track for 3 years, right? That's more extracurricular activities. So we can add a column or another category later on. Now, some of you might be like, man, I haven't done anything, right? Like, crap. I don't know what I could put. This is where we're at, right? Is that we're trying to allow you to understand that you have to be able to begin to build this. And the only way that you build this is by doing stuff and getting out beyond the classroom and being able to build this resume so that you can be more credible and marketable in the workplace when it comes down to job placement and volunteer placement and all that stuff. So, it can start now, right? You may not be prepared to put anything down or to create anything for submission, but now's the time to start. If it's very little that you have, you're still going to have to figure out what to write in for be creative for submitting the assignment, so we know that you did something today. Okay, let me move on. So here's professional skills. So let's say, for him, he has first aid skills, knowledge of how to treat post-traumatic injuries that would arise from a car crash, collapsed building, as well as other sudden possible events that may occur. Okay, so that's what he wrote down for first aid. He has the first aid experience from being in the class for 2 years, so he can put it down. And then when he gets an interview, he can talk about the kind of things that he knows how to do and how he established that experience and those skills. So that's for example, first aid. Here's another one that he put down for sports medicine. Knowledge how to prevent minor injuries from arising during physical activity, treatment of any related activity, strains, cramps, dislocations, sprains, etc. So for you guys, for all of you, you could begin to start to put down first aid and sports medicine, right? So, but you would have to make it much simpler or much more less detailed because you only have certain skills right now, right? Like you've gone over how to splint and how to sling, right? So if you know how to sling, and that was one of the skills that I mean, obviously you all went through it. Some of you tested on certain things. If you feel comfortable with knowing how to splint sling, you can put that down. Knowledge of how to treat post-traumatic injuries like fractures of the leg and arm. Knowing how to apply a splint and or a sling to the injury that's fractured. So you could write something like that. Now, sports medicine, can it go hand in hand? Sure, it could. So could you put down sports medicine, knowledge of how to treat any activity-related injuries like fractures? You could. It would be very limited though, again, right? So I want you to beef it up. So you can add that. So for you, both, you all have very limited skills, but you still could put down this because now you have established the opportunity for that. Now, here's what's going to happen. Like if I'm going to read these, they're going to come in, right? If you haven't done any skills and I don't know that you're capable of it, I'm going to just email you back and say, you can't put that, right? That you can't put professional skills, first aid, sports medicine, because basically you haven't been engaged in class and I haven't even seen you do it, right? So I'm going to basically keep you accountable for this document. So other professional skills could be, man, you're really good in Adobe, right? Or Photoshop. You have an extremely great skill set in artists or music, right? Like musician, whatever you're doing. I know Ava's a guitar player, right? So for sure, like you're going to put down, like, you know how to play the guitar, right? You've done this for 15 years, whatever it is, So you're going to add these professional skills. Like these are super important skills to indicate for your resume. Okay, so we're just making this a general resume right now. General resume. So whatever skills you have that we can consider professional, right? That, yeah, you have, you've been drawing, art, you've been doing artistic work for years and you're a great artist, right? Yeah, you need to put that down. Anything that you have skill set in like, any computer graphics, right? Computer design, building your own computer. It could be anything, but it has to be like, like you're very, very, like if I ask you, hey, show me this, or anybody, hey, can you show me what you do? You could do it. We have a Jordan Radnaughty. She's a drummer, right? She's really good in drums. I mean, you could put that down. She put it down. She's been drumming for years. Okay, so let me go on. So professional certifications. So for him, he has CPR, first aid, and it's through AED, and it's an AED EMS safety. Okay, so October 3rd to 2019. October 3rd of 2021. So he's certified for 2 years up until 21. So he would put that down from this class. Now you might have an Adobe certification, I don't know, Photoshop, any type of certifications you might have. Some of you might be first aid certified. I know some of your juniors, you could be first aid CPR certified, and you started to apply for, you were a lifeguard. I think you have to be 16 to be a lifeguard, but I don't know. It's possible to have some older juniors, I guess. So, and if you don't have any, then you would not put it. You would just basically not, it would basically be empty, right? So we wouldn't even see it. And then the last one is, references. Okay. So you put who would be good references for you to help bolster your opportunity for a job placement. So he put me down, he put Mr. Dawes, and he put his volleyball coach, Marvin Fong, for references. So let me, something real quick here.